We're at I-10 and Red Road or at RudolphChevy.com.
An airman's dream of acceptance takes flight in the Air Force. In tonight's Extra Depth, we dive into one man's journey as a member of the LGBTQ community serving in the military. ABC 7's Brianna Bettis shares his story and how he found happiness in a place he wasn't expecting to.
Staff Sergeant Cesar Lopez was worried about the treatment he would receive, but his fear quickly subsided and work became a second home after learning the kindness and inclusiveness of his colleagues.
I knew that there was still work to be done, but I knew that I wouldn't be alone if I were to come out.
8 years in the Air Force, Sergeant Lopez is assigned to the 49th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, an aerospace ground equipment craftsman at Holloman Air Force Base. He says his fellow airmen have made him feel at home.
What really sells a base is the people that you work with. Everybody in my flight, they are like my family.
But he didn't always feel that way. Enlisting in 2016, Sergeant Lopez says he was eager to join, but was afraid to be himself.
When I was in basic training, nobody knew. I just kept it to myself.
With the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, service members, part of the LGBTQ community, now felt they could serve the country they love without hiding who they love. Still, Lopez was hesitant.
It had already been repealed for about 2 to 3 years, but I did know that it was still kind of recent, and I wasn't exactly sure how the culture had already adjusted or shifted to be more accepting.
Upon joining, he learned not everyone was accepting.
There were some people that were still very much homophobic. They would stand up and they would say, I don't agree with their lifestyle.
But shortly after arriving at his first assignment, his coworkers welcomed him with open arms.
That's when I started to realize that it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it would have been. It made me feel great, accepted, like I could be who I am without any reservations.
ABC 7 reached out to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee about the importance of repealing the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. In a statement, they said, quote, "We must adapt to our surroundings and make sure we are able to include anyone of any background, allowing for the military to mirror the American population. It allows individuals to feel part of the cohesive team regardless of their background, sexual identity, and ethnicity." Brianna Bettis, ABC 7.